So he's also the one who told me about Bohemian Grove. Well, I actually watched it. I think this tape was actually made before I met him. So he went and snuck in to this place where like former presidents go. There's a photograph of it's Ronald Reagan with Herbert Walker Bush and a couple other people all standing around. And it's like these are the people that used to hang out at this place, and they would put on robes and they would worship an owl god, and they would burn an effigy. And they're playing, and Alex snuck in and made video footage of this shit. And no one's denying that it's real. This really did happen. They're in with these bankers and former presidents, and they're dressed like druids.
Yes.
And some guy brings over something it's an effigy that's supposed to be a body, a wrapped up effigy. It's a bunch of sticks in a blanket, but it's like shaped like a body.
Yeah.
And then they drop it on the fire, and they're all worshiping an owl god.
Hey, what's up everybody? Radx here, the one from 72, the ultra neutral, and today I'm going to be posting a video that's probably going to make a lot of people angry, and there's actually going to be a couple of videos that are going to be coming out here, and I know that people are going to get angry about it. Probably going to be quite a few people that are probably going to unsubscribe. I don't care, c'est la vie. You're part of that brainwash. That's your own problem. You can't just look in the mirror and just see what's happening to you. Like, it's not a conscious decision that people are making. That's what I'm trying to explain. It's actually a frequency that is making people act in a certain way and to look a certain way and not look in another direction. And this all comes from this bird imagery. And I've had somebody tell me before, and I don't know if it's just because he was just trying to be misdirecting or if he was just in complete denial. But somebody told me before that, oh, all that bird imagery, even though, you know, it's all bad, it's reptilian, right? Like, because the reptiles evolved into birds. I mean, come on. Let's take a real good hard look at the reptilian thing and the bird thing. Why would they program people's minds to think that reptilians are bad, the reptile is bad, you know, the snake is bad, all these things are bad about that, and then program people that the birds and the bird-like men are the good guys, and when we know throughout time and history, and I'm going to show you all the imagery, and we know through time and history that there has been a message that's been carried by the bird. That's been a message of war and destruction and death, and it's just been that way. Like, you cannot not look at it and not see that's exactly what it is. And it's always been this bird that carries the message, and the message is used through frequency. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the frequency, but then after that, it's just going to be music that's going to play, and then I'm going to post a bunch of images, bird images, for you to see all this symbolic bird stuff. We're talking about it goes from America to Nazi Germany to Rome, the Roman Empire. Like, it's never been anything of positive. It's always been bad, and then that even goes even further back to ancient Egypt. Horus and these other bird gods were surrounded by slaves. They always had slaves, okay? So that's just the way it works, and that's just what it is. It's this bird imagery and this message and this disinformation and this control through that message and through these frequencies that people are susceptible to, and that they don't even know it's happening to them. So I don't truly blame the people who completely are going to shut this off and not want to hear the message, because believe it or not, it's not even their fault. They do this because they're not in control of their actions. Something else is controlling their actions. They would like to not believe that they're under some type of a mind control. Of course they would like to believe that, but when you show it to them and they look away, it's like the woman who gets beat up at home and has a black eye and says she fell and hit the doorknob. Like, she just will keep covering up for her abuser. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So take a look at this, guys, and hopefully it'll help unlock your mind, help you look deeper into what's going on, look into the symbology, look at what the symbols are that are considered bad and the symbols that are considered good, and actually look at their reputations and see what's been going on, right? Like, we know that the bird symbols and the bird ideology and the bird worshippers are always telling you, oh, those are the bad guys over there, and those are the ones doing all this bad stuff. But then when you look at those symbols and the people who are actually portraying those type of symbols, it usually is surrounded by peace and love for all and all these other things. It just doesn't make any sense, and it's not about control. All right, guys, and with that, enjoy the rest of the time that you have left. And like I said, we'll be having some videos that are going to be coming out, and they're just going to be pissing people off. I'm suspecting that a lot of people are probably going to leave this channel and not come back, but that's just fine because they're not even in control of those actions. All right, and with that, enjoy the rest of the time that you have left. What if I were to tell you that every year America's most powerful men, politicians, CEOs, even presidents of the United States, gather at a secret retreat in Northern California to set the agenda for our nation? In 1878, the Bohemian Club held their first retreat at a place called the Grove. Over the years, the all-male, invitation-only retreat has included everyone from Walter Cronkite to Warren Buffett. I've heard all kinds of crazy stories about what happens at the Grove, from the origins of the Manhattan Project in 1942 to the determination of presidential candidates since 1900, even that the roots of the United Nations came out of talks at the Grove. But the members of the Bohemian Club simply do not talk about what goes on, so the speculation is endless. Only the members know what the truth is. But if you tell me that FDR, Eisenhower, Nixon, Reagan, Bush, and Clinton are all members of the same secret organization, I want to know what this group is all about. We all know that secrets are hard to keep, so it amazes me that these guys have been able to do it so well for so long. Now, there are some things we do know about the Bohemian Club. The owl, which is their mascot, is said to represent their thirst for knowledge of all things. The origins of the name Bohemian are also extremely interesting and not what you think. The patron saint of the club is Saint John of Nepomuk. He was a 14th century Czech priest who was the Queen's confessor.
He's got $100.
But we're wondering in the meantime, maybe just a look-see at the 40-foot owl. No?
He's got backup, guys.
How did you know we were here?
Somebody told me.
Oh, they did? They dropped a dime?
A little owl?
told
A
you?
little owl told you?
Pure tone of math fundamental to nature, and is mathematically consistent with the patterns of the universe. Modern science has begun to recognize what ancient civilizations knew long ago. Everything is in a constant state of vibration. In fact, this frequency is said to be connected with everything that is, including the works of the ancients, such as in the construction of the Great Pyramid. Everything has a range of frequency, including every organ and cell in our bodies. Scientific research has shown that our cells resonate with and respond to different frequencies. When we are in resonance, or the act of resonating and producing positive feeling states, we are in balance. Music based on 432 Hz creates resonance within our bodies and balances the emotional and mental state. It transmits beneficial healing energy because it's a pure tone of math fundamental to nature. But you may be surprised to know that our current musical standard is a tuning of 440 Hz. So when did this concert pitch come into effect? Most music worldwide has been tuned to 440 Hz since the International Standards Organization, or the ISO, endorsed it in 1953. There is a theory that the change from 432 Hz to 440 Hz followed the recommendations of the Nazi Party spokesman Joseph Goebbels in 1939. According to this theory, there was an organized effort to change concert pitch to 440 Hz at the start of the last century to codify an old world new order of central pitch. This was set into motion in order to increase anxiety levels in individuals, causing them to think and feel in specific ways, making them a prisoner of a consciousness that breeds disharmony. It's also alleged that the Rockefeller Foundation had an interest in making sure the United States adopted the 440 Hz standard as a part of a war on consciousness, causing more emotional distress and in turn more physical illness and hardship.